topper clips, do they hurt? This is a question that I get all of the time in the DMs, including in the last week. So I thought I would make it my question of the week for this week. I'm a little behind on questions of the week, but I thought it was an important one to talk about because I do get it so often. It's one of the biggest questions and worries that we have as potential topper wearers. And for those of us who have gotten into the world of toppers and find them a little bit uncomfortable, it is worrisome. Is this going to cause traction alopecia? So let's talk about it right now. So one of the questions that I get is, do they hurt? Do they cause traction alopecia? So in terms of it hurting, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't find my toppers to be that comfortable. I don't find them to be as uncomfortable as they did when I first started wearing them. At the very beginning, I thought that they were unbearable. And I remember scouring the internet, just like a lot of the people with the same questions that I'm getting in the DMs. Like, is this going to cause long-term traction alopecia? What's the deal? Should it hurt this much? And I ended up taking a look at something that Sharon from Highline Wigs said when I first purchased my Highline. And she described it as like, you know, at the end of the day, you take off your bra and it just feels so good. That's what a topper takeoff should feel like. It shouldn't be hurting you. It should just be, you should look forward to taking it off at the end of the day. And I'm not going to lie, it was more than that when I first started wearing my Highlines. And she's talked about the importance of having good clips, which she includes in her pieces, as a way to sort of combat or mitigate any issues with traction alopecia. But at the end of the day, like, you're putting something on your head, you're clipping it into your hair. And if you have fine, thin bio hair and a sensitive scalp, that's not going to feel comfortable. However, I can honestly say that my head is kind of getting used to it now, and they don't bother me nearly as much as they used to. Is it sensitive? Yes. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I have traction alopecia from it? No, not to my knowledge. And I asked my husband to take a peek recently and he didn't notice anything either. So there's a few things I think you can do to minimize the discomfort and to minimize potential damage to your hair. But at the end of the day, this is clipping into your hair. And if you are really worried about it, then you might want to skip toppers and just go straight to a lace top wig. For me, it's worth the trade-off. I really like toppers still. I love wigs as well, but I really like toppers. I like that my own hair is blended in. I'm going to be sticking with them. And even if it meant traction alopecia, that wouldn't stop me because my bio hair is never going to be something that will look better than the toppers and hair pieces that I wear. So for me, it was like, whatever. So let's talk about things that you can do. So among the things you can do is think about cap size. And I've talked about this before, so I won't go into a ton of detail because I'm trying to keep this video under 5 minutes. But if you have a lot of density, so you're doing a small cap that's really dense, like let's say a 4x5, 5x5, 5x6, whatever, something small that's just up here, full of hair. That's a lot of hair in one spot. And that means if your clips are right here, they're really like putting a lot of weight and a lot of pressure on that one area. For me, this area is very sensitive and very, very thin, so I wouldn't want to do that. Hence a bigger cap size being my preference. I have a small head, I'm a size small wig, and I still prefer a bigger cap. So 9x9 for me, maybe even 10x10 if I can ever get my hands on one, would be my ideal. The reason why, the hair is dispersed, and so the pressure isn't just on that one little spot. It's spread around, and the size of the cap naturally just helps it to sit in place. So it doesn't have to clip in so tightly. So that's number one, is I would recommend looking for something that's not too dense and something that has a bigger cap size. In addition, the way that you put on the topper matters. So when I was first wearing toppers, I was so scared that they were going to fly off my head. And honestly, I've never had that happen ever. So I'm a lot more lax about putting my topper on, unless of course I'm going on a roller coaster or something. So what I used to do with my first topper, which was like a 7x8 or something, is I would pull it down and then I would clip it in with as much hair as I could to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. That's not how I apply my topper anymore. So now what I do is I put it on my head and I actually, instead of pulling down, I just put it in a place that's natural, and then I just do a tiny little scoop of hair. I don't know if you can see that. Just do a tiny little scoop of hair like this, and I clip it down. So it's reasonably secure. It's not as secure as it would be if I like really pulled it down and scooped up a huge chunk of hair, but it's far more comfortable. So instead of pulling down, I do a little scoop under and a little clip with just a little bit of hair. And I go all the way around my head like that. And honestly, I mean, does it shift? It could, but it hasn't. So that's my one major difference for combating it. Well, actually two. Going for a bigger cap size has helped, and then just a little bit of scoop. Other things you can do is wear a wig grip. So there are topper grips out there. You could also just wear a wig grip that you have. So you put the wig grip on, and then you can use the front comb if your topper has it. That guy there. And you can just scoop it under the wig grip, and it will help give extra security, and then you don't have to use the clips at all. I think I just got some L'Oreal root spray on my forehead. Okay, other things you can do. You could switch out your clips for Velcro. Some people report that being more comfortable. I have such a sensitive scalp and such thin hair that I don't think that that works for me quite as well, but it is an option. You can also swap out your comb or your clips for a little bit of Velcro. You can move the clips around. That's another thing you can do, is add clips and then put some clips in one day and some clips in another day. That's another possibility. Some women talk about teasing the area or using some hairspray, that it actually causes less tugging, but I would be worried about long-term damage. So maybe, I don't know if that's an everyday thing for you. So those are some of the strategies that you can use: topper grips, wig grips, scooping strategically, teasing and hairspray, Velcro. Those are all really good options. And honestly, for me, I think it's worth it. But if it's not worth it to you, the risk, then just go straight for the lace wig instead of the silk wig or the silk topper. You can also get lace front toppers, but those will still require you to clip the piece in somewhat. Although if you were to glue it down, it would provide extra security, and you could probably go a lot lighter with those clips. So answer to the question, are the topper clips bothersome? Yes and no. For me, they're not super comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, when I am done filming, this is coming off my head, and my faithful, like it's right here, my faithful scrunchie is going in my hair. And that's just my reality. I'm not gonna wear my topper around the house. It's coming off just like my jeans, and I'm putting on sweatpants and I'm putting my hair in a scrunchie. So for me, no, it's not the most comfortable thing. If you don't have a sensitive scalp, it may not be uncomfortable for you at all, which is the case for a lot of women. It just adds a nice, healthy looking element to their hair, and it doesn't bother them. And then for some, it would be maybe even more unbearable than it is for me. So you only know by trying. The pros definitely outweigh the cons for me. I love hair toppers, so a little bit of discomfort, and it's something that I don't even think about daily now. It's just the odd time. But when it comes off at the end of the day, you know, sometimes it feels relief, but it's worth it for me. So there you have it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not the most comfortable thing. You have to try it out to decide for yourself. But honestly, I'm a huge fan of toppers, and I do believe that they can be life-changing. So if you are on the fence, I say give it a go. And let me know what your experience is like. If I've missed something, which I'm sure I have, let me know in the comments what other strategies have worked for you to make your topper clips more comfortable. I'm sure the others would love to know what works for you.